What's my favorite scary movie of 2022 so far? You guessed it. Scream! Yes, the sequel reboot, which is technically the 5th movie in the franchise, called Scream. One of my most anticipated horror movies, or I should say only anticipated horror movies of this year. And how does it hold up? Does it hold up as good as the first or any of the sequels? Well, let's take a look, shall we? First of all, yes, this is the 5th movie in the franchise, as I just said before, even though it bears the same exact name as the first movie, so that might be a little confusing, just like I mentioned with Halloween. They make Halloween, a shit ton of sequels and remakes and sequel to that, and then they make a sequel which ignores all those films and call it Halloween. I don't understand why they're doing this a lot with these horror films, or slasher movies, which is what these are. But anyway, yes, this takes place in modern day era, and introduces a bunch of new characters who are being victimized at the hands of Ghostface, who makes the phone calls asking about what's your favorite scary movie, you know the drill if you've seen all these movies, and of course breaks into the house. And with all this new technology like caller IDs, automatic locking systems with phones and social media, it plays a part in this movie. So yes, there may be some minor to moderate spoilers in this. I'm not going to go anything major, but yes, it plays a big part in this. With the internet, the cell phones, or Androids and iPhones and so forth, it modernizes itself pretty well to make sure it, reminds you that it is the 21st century and not the 90s like you had with the first movie, before caller IDs were really a big thing. So that was a big deal when that came out after that movie, and a lot of people got those because, yeah, everyone was scared shitless of receiving phone calls from strangers, even though in the movie it shows that it comes up as an unknown caller. So it's kind of a murder mystery slash horror slash slasher movie of who the Ghostface killer is, or killers, are in this movie. And we have our new character as well as her older sister, who is played by the same actress from In the Heights that you probably saw last year. And she does a really good job. Her younger sister is thankfully not murdered in this movie, but they all try to track down the killer, and well, it's just a big body count of kills in this movie and great suspense, as well as some original cast members from the original films, like David Arquette as Officer Dewey Riley. Yep, he makes a return and tries to help out with the whole situation, as well as Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, who doesn't make her appearance till much later on in the film, and Courtney Cox as the news reporter Lady Gale Weathers, who you remember from the original films. I ain't got much to say there. And they're all summoned back into town to try to back each other up, help on the situation, catch each other up on what's been going on with their lives. This is how you do a great reboot slash sequel the right way. Give the fans exactly what they wanted, a nice touch of nostalgia, as well as some new stuff added in, some new material with the new cast, who I will admit are a bit quirky. They're the typical high school students, saying wisecracks to one another, acting like a bunch of wise guys, swearing their heads up, partying and drinking and acting tough and everything. But come on, if you've seen the original films, it ain't much different. They're just high school kids being high school kids. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of blood in here, but this is how you do it the right way. You bring in the original cast and you pass the torch on to a new generation, and they did it just right. I mean, yeah, there's some great suspense, some good surprises. They reflect on the original films the right way. I mean, they're big fans of slasher movies like the original cast was. And, well, there's some nods to other horror films that they mention. Hell, they even mention and talk about how this is a sequel and how they're characters in the films, just like the original films did. So, ain't got much to say there. It's a nice self-aware made type of slasher horror movie with some great jump scares, some great teases in there, which do take the necessary steps into keeping you on edge still, and it definitely surprised me quite a bit. Very entertaining for the most part, and, well, some good puns in there too, especially at the end, but I ain't gonna dare spoil it for you. So, just go see it, unless you can't take the amount of blood that this movie has, because it definitely has a lot of it, and especially at the end, if you've seen the first movie, you'll know what I'm talking about right there, but that's just as far as I'll go right here. Otherwise, yes, nice tribute to the original film, definitely probably the best sequel out of them all, might I dare say. Not that I didn't like the other sequels, but after seeing Scream 4, it definitely left me a little bit underwhelmed, but thankfully this one redeemed itself, and definitely brought my faith back in the franchise. But should they make another sequel to this? Let's not jump the gun and go there, because I'm just glad to see the franchise back after more than 10 years. And it's great to see the original cast back, despite a few deaths that may happen in this and may surprise you. And yes, of course, after the death of Wes Craven, there's a nice little tribute in there for him as well. So, yeah, I ain't got much to say there. You'll scream for this one for sure, if you didn't like the other sequels, but enjoyed the hell out of the first one. It'll most likely answer your question, what your favorite scary movie is, at least of this year. So, my final verdict, a rockin' Wii remote with Wii Motion Plus up, and a Play remote up. Trust me, this is my favorite scary movie of this year, so far. So, until next time, keep watching.